Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first meeting of the Laindon and Lee Chapel North Area Committee. Just a quick introduction. This is a meeting of the council held in public, not a public meeting. There are no fire drills planned, so if the fire alarm sounds, please leave by the exit nearest to the large screen at the front of the room and proceed down the fire exit to the courtyard. Once it is safe to return, councillors will receive a text message. Officers will also be advised when it's safe to return to the meeting. We are recording the meeting this evening using our webcasting system. The webcast will be transmitted live and will also be available on the council's website following the meeting. All mobile devices should be switched off or set to silent so that the meeting is not interrupted by ringtones. Thank you. Just a very quick introduction what we're doing here, really. This is the first meeting of the Laindon and Lee Chapel North Area Committee. The area committees were established at the annual council meeting on the 23rd of May 2024, and I'm glad that Councillor Ferguson, the cabinet member responsible, is present this evening with us, and their role is to ensure the delivery of services to support residents and communities to maximise community resilience at an area level. Each area committee is made up of all the elected members of the wards that they cover, which for us is Lee Chapel North and Laindon Park. And I'm pleased to welcome my fellow ward members to the meeting. There are a few things that the area committees are primarily responsible for. So they're here to identify the main priorities that reflect the biggest need in the area. To monitor the quality and effectiveness of services delivered by the council and other main providers in the area while developing strong working relationships with key council stakeholders and partners, to develop efficient and effective solutions to local area priorities as well as support borough-wide issues, to encourage residents to become involved in decision-making on matters which affect them and enhance community engagement, to consult, engage and involve local people, community organisations and partners in understanding area priorities, and to propose and sponsor investment proposals, allocating set budgets accordingly, and to commission activity to improve local quality of life and public satisfaction in the area. There are two funds that the area committees are responsible for. They are the Believe in Basildon Fund, which is commissioned through the area committee members and aims to support activities and initiatives that tackle local priorities that clearly benefit localities and the communities and organisations within them at an area-based level. And then there's also the Community Priority Fund, which is specifically accessed through the voluntary and community sector organisations and aims to support activity that or the provision of equipment that clearly benefits residents at ward level and which addresses local priorities. The activity must provide genuine community benefit or address community needs. So now we've got the introductions out the way, we'll go to item number 1, apologies for absence.
We have an apology from Councillor Webb.
Thank you. Item number 2, any declarations of interests from members? No. Okay, thank you. And then we'll go on to item number 3, which is the main substantive item of the evening, which is the funding considerations for us to know. So we've got 2 main funding considerations for this evening. So we've got a £1,500 investment from the Believe in Basildon Fund to deliver the Crunch service on the 23rd of November. And then we've also got a £3,000 investment from the Believe in Basildon Fund to purchase of a lit Christmas tree for our festive period to enhance the Carol in the Park event in Laindon and Lee Chapel North. So I'll pass over to Mr. Taylor to give us a brief introduction to them.
Thank you, Chair. So I think if we take one item at a time, and then I'll pass back to you so you can vote accordingly. So the first item, as you said a moment ago, is the proposal from the Believe in Basildon Fund for a £1,500 investment for the delivery of a crunch service specific to Laindon and Lee Chapel North. The proposal, as you mentioned, is that this will take place on the 23rd of November and the site for this would be the Laindon Community Centre and its car park. I'm sure many of those people watching and certainly the people in the room will know that the Crunch service has been had an incredibly successful summer this year, supporting residents, the places where they live, to be able to easily access a service, to be able to declutter in a way that really suits them in their areas. It's been so popular on that basis that we're coming back to all of the area committees with the proposal for all of them to put in a relatively small amount of money for us to bring that back pre-Christmas, when I guess people might be making a little bit more room for future purchases. So I guess it's as simple as that. I'll pass back to you and to see what the committee think of the proposal.
Okay, thank you. Do I have any speakers? Yep, Councillor McGeorge.
Thank you, Chair. I think it's fantastic that we can use these committees to bring something as successful as the Crunch to our residents. We saw in the summer every site had tens, if not hundreds, of residents go in there with waste that they wouldn't otherwise be able to get rid of. A lot of people can't get to the tip. A lot of people try and book slots for the tip and then can't get them. So I think this is a fantastic use of money to give a good benefit to our residents.
Yeah, thank you. Councillor McGowan.
Yeah, as the Cabinet member responsible for this initiative in the first place, I would say this: it was an amazing success, but it was an amazing success. And I think the timing of this, just not long before Christmas, obviously, is very helpful to our residents. We did have them for 5 weeks during the summer, but that was quite a while ago. So again, it's good timing. And I think one of the things that struck me and impressed me was not just the take-up of the service, but the community spirit involved, people helping each other out. And again, I look forward to seeing that again this time. And as it's sort of beginning of the festive period-ish, I'm a traditionalist. I don't think Christmas starts till December, but I realise that I'm in a minority of one on that one. But yeah, it'll be great to see people helping each other out again. And yeah, I think it's a great use of money, and I think it'll be a great success and very well received by the residents of Laindon and Lee Chapel North.
Yes, absolutely. I remember the crunches from over the summer, and I think all 6 of us, including Councillor Webb, got stuck in with those as well, which is fantastic that we're also so committed to getting our hands dirty and helping out. And the good thing that I find about the crunch as well is that it's free. So but residents who would usually have to pay for a bulky waste collection, they can just drop their sofa off at the crunch instead, if they're able to get it over there. Yeah, Councillor McGowan.
Sorry, we're very remiss of me. One thing I should have said that, again, we all experienced over the summer, the incredible efforts of our waste crews who went above and beyond what was expected of them and what was required of them, and I'm sure we'll be seeing that again later this month.
Absolutely, it's never easy to give up your Saturday, and they all did a fantastic job. Do I have any other speakers on this item? No. Okay then. We'll go to the vote then. So can I get a show of hands? All those in favour of spending? To resolve that the committee agrees to £1,500 investment from the Believe in Basildon Fund for the delivery of the Crunch service in the Laindon and Lee Chapel North area, which will be on the 23rd of November and will be at the Laindon Community Centre. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you, members. I'll now pass back over to Mr. Taylor for the second part of the item.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, so the second opportunity for the committee to vote on is the proposal for a £3,000 investment towards the Carols in the Park, proposed Carols in the Park event that will be taking place within the Laindon and Lee Chapel North area. The £3,000 proposed is not the event in its totality, but it's for to enable to purchase a lit Christmas tree to be placed within the area for the whole of the Christmas period, which offers an opportunity to act as a beacon throughout that period in the community. The Carols in the Parks events are proposed to really engage the community, build on Basildon and Laindon and Shepherd North's already excellent community spirit at this festive time. Councillor Durham will be pleased to know this is a December event for Christmas, and due to take place on the 13th of December in Markham's Chase Recreation Ground. So, yeah, it's a simple opportunity really for the committee to vote for a Christmas tree, which will be a beacon of celebrating the festive period in their community. Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Do I have any speaks on this one? Councillor McGeorge?
Thank you, Chair. I've got a question first. Do we know where the Christmas tree will actually be placed for this committee area?
So the team have been working with the Parks team to actually give that advice. I'm not able to give the exact date, the exact place, but I believe it will be in and around where some of the built facilities are in the park, simply because we need to light it. So we've been picking areas where we don't want to be running a generator all of that period. It wouldn't be safe to do so. So I'm not quite clear if they're working with the community centre or with the changing rooms that are there, but it'll be in and around that locality.
Any other questions? Yep, Councillor George.
Finished. I've got no more questions though. This is a lovely thing for our areas to do. Not every location has the Christmas tree. I know that in Billericay you'll have a Christmas tree and there'll be one in Basildon, but I think it's nice now to be able to bring our communities together a bit more and give them their own Christmas tree where the local schools can go to, local people can go to. And it's just trying to get a bit of community spirit back into our areas. So I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a brilliant location as well, sort of just around the corner from James Hornsby School and right in the heart of the Leach Upper North Ward. So yeah, it's a fantastic idea. Any other speakers? No? Okay. Well, in that case, if we're all happy, we'll go to the vote. So yeah, nice quick one. So to resolve that the committee agrees to a £3,000 investment from the Believe in Basildon Fund for the purchase of a lit Christmas tree over the festive period to enhance the Carols in the Park event in Laindon and Lee Chapel North area. All those in favour? Perfect, thank you. That's unanimous again. So thank you everybody for that. We'll now move on to item 4, which is the Pride team presentation. Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Chairman. My name's Mark Aldridge. I'm the interim grounds maintenance, arboriculture and Pride team manager. We're going to do a short presentation on the Pride teams. David Keeble is the Pride team supervisor in charge of all the teams. He's going to do a good presentation run through, and then obviously once we've finished, you can fire away as many questions as you like. Thank you.
Hi everyone. We've put together a few slides here just to give you a sort of an idea of the scope of works the Pride team do, and some sort of statistics around sort of the tonnage and stuff we deal with on a monthly sort of daily basis, along with some visual slides of what we achieve out there on a daily basis. So if I start on the scope of service, so within the Pride team we've got grounds maintenance teams and housing teams. Has it not come up again? Done this yesterday, didn't it? Worked earlier.
For the benefit of anybody watching at home, we're just having a few technical difficulties. We'll be up and running again in a second. fantastic. We've got up and running again. So yeah, please continue.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. Right, so I'll slip straight to the next slide, which is the scope of service for the Pride team. So we're out there sort of clearing alleyways, making the alleyways safe, sight lines, windows, gas flumes, and estate projects. We sort of spray it and weed kill sort of the weeds and stuff on our estates and the works we do. We remove dumped items from various flat blocks and estates. We support events, the likes of putting up bunting, maintenance for Memorial Days and special events. We support sort of the AP schemes with Christmas decorations, painting of steps and car park bays within the AP schemes, installing signage, shelves, furniture and sort of minor repairs within the council housing blocks. The Pride team consists of 17 operatives in total, which we sort of divided up into 7 teams, 2 people per team plus a van and tools. We divided it once again to 4 times reactive teams for the grounds maintenance, so that's the pruning of the estate cleanups, which is typically 3 days a week on these estate cleanups and projects. And then we've got the sort of 2 days a week with the reactive CRM requests from the public and stuff like that. And then we've got 3 housing teams which are on set routes with various flat blocks and estates clearing up bulk dumped items. A mixture of HRA and general funded. These are the sort of monthly figures on average we're getting. This is for September this year. So as you can see, we've cleared or completed 84 CRMs, 160 Pride requests from the housing teams, 13 councillor inquiries were completed, 14 internal requests. We collected 34 white goods, which is like your fridge, freezers and washing machines. 77 24-hour requests. They're requests that we have to clear within 24 hours because of the combustible items. Just under 61 tonnes we cleared collectively as a team in September. 0 complaints received. No urgent out of hours reports received. Supporting the whole borough with the grounds maintenance. There's just sort of tonnage breakdown for sort of each team. Collectively it was just under 61 tonnes. Mainly the most of the weight is from the housing teams with the bulky collected items. Here are some examples of what the Pride team do. This is just by the Laindon Community Centre. So here are some of the grounds maintenance slides of what sort of difference we make out there. As you can see, there's quite overgrown pathways and stuff we clear, make safe, open up, look nice. Another one in Tillingham Green. And some various ones from other parts of the borough that we deal with, flat blocks, sort of overgrowth, ivy and stuff. Sort of general stuff there. And then there's some examples of the sort of dumping we're collecting through certain estates and flat blocks. This is the annual plan through the year for the Pride team. So we're normally on sort of projects on estates, tidy up, maintenance and stuff like that. Mainly through the year. Through the summer is sort of peak growing seasons with the grounds maintenance support. We're currently just coming out of red bricks with a tidy up within there, and it's yet to sort of be decided where we're going to next with the estate projects. And this is how you would raise a service request for the likes of yourselves, contacting council inquiries, service timescales for urgent works, routine works and planned works, proactive work planned for the year is agreed by cabinet members for housing and cabinet member for environmental and leisure. And that concludes, and sorry for the delay at the beginning.
No, thank you very much. It looks like you guys have been busy and it's been some great work done. Do I have any comments on that from members? Yep, Councillor McGarren.
Yeah, no, well, thank you first of all for the presentation. I think it's really useful. I mean, I think we probably know most of that, if not all of it. I certainly should. But I think if any, whoever is watching, I think it's really useful for them to see that, and particularly what's happening when, because I think sometimes the residents don't always understand that, and maybe we need to think about, as a council, how we communicate that better so that they know what's going on where and when. But I think, on the whole, the Pride team's a great success, enormously popular. I think the only complaint we generally get is we could do with more of them, and more of them in some areas specifically. But that's not really a criticism. That's a compliment. But no, I think that's really useful. And like I say, I think probably I need to go away and talk to James about how we communicate what the Pride teams are doing a little bit better. So that's one for me.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. Councillor Joseph.
Yeah, so since you can be contacted through councillor inquiries, do you have a process for responding to specific requests from residents, such as areas that may need extra attention, or faster response times for maintenance?
I mean, most of them inquiries do come through the CRM system, which is customer report system. So that will come through and that will get given to the officers and they will respond to them straight away. So that could be anything, to be honest with you. That is the main part of the job day to day.
Councillor.
So for ongoing projects like the hedge pruning and the weed control, does the Pride team have a long-term maintenance plan for each area, or is it more of just request based? Like how can local communities help identify areas that need regular upkeep?
We do have a plan. Obviously, we do have certain areas where we spend time in, and we have targeted areas like Lee Chapel North was beginning of the year, and there's certain parts of Lee Chapel North that we would work on. I think whereabouts was it this year, Dave? Ballard's Walk around that way, wasn't it?
Around that way, yeah.
But obviously we can only do certain parts of the estates because they're so big, so we concentrate on a certain area and basically go in and tidy it up completely. So whatever needs doing, whether it's hedge trimming, sweeping paths, cleaning litter, dumping, it could be anything. So we do have the teams that go out and do a project area, and that is something obviously we can discuss with yourselves and the members of the public if you want to put forward in particular areas. And we're quite welcome to listen.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned Ballard Talk there. Certainly, it's an area that I've noticed a brilliant improvement in the last couple of months. So yeah, well done on that one. Councillor Power.
It might not be you guys, but obviously with the picking up of the dumped rubbish, obviously we get quite a lot of those because they come through to us, and I think a lot of the residents kind of ask how hotspots are identified and what we are doing to sort of try and obviously tackle the hotspots and the areas that are continuously having rubbish dumped. I've had quite, the same individuals contact me numerous times week after week with key areas where rubbish is being dumped, and I wonder if that sits with you or probably a wider part of the service.
With dumping, it isn't directly with the Pride teams, it's with the street cleansing section. So they will get all the dumping reports to them and they will respond. Obviously, they've got bigger, larger lorries which they go out and clear the dumping. But what the officers of the street cleansing section will do is, obviously, if it's an area that's becoming frequent dumping it, they refer then to our enforcement officers. So we're all at Violence, so we work quite close together. So they will mention it to or speak to the enforcement officers, and a lot of the time the enforcement officers are getting reports as well. And obviously they work together and take those areas up.
And I think the housing teams, or the housing department as well, are looking into how to resolve this higher, maybe sort of educating and stuff, enforcement, more patrolling of estates.
Councillor McGarren?
Sorry, on that, just to be clear, a lot of work, as you know, has been going on to fix the bins. There'll be several announcements coming forward shortly, and there'll also be, once we have fixed the bins, we will be taking a more proactive role in enforcement. It's been difficult. It's not that we haven't been doing any enforcement, but obviously it's been difficult when the system is so broken, as we've experienced over the last year or so. So going forward, there will be a lot more work on education and enforcement, because it is not acceptable, the regular dumping in specific areas, and it is specific areas, and we do know where they are. Also, when we get the in-cab technology as well, it'll be easier to clear it up quicker, so that'll be good. But I want to send a message out now. People, I know people are frustrated, residents are frustrated. I share the frustration. We will sort it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Councillor Joseph?
I don't know if you can answer this question, but it's just something that just came to mind. So in regards to your maintenance, obviously like the hedge pruning and the rest of that, so how do you take local wildlife and biodiversity into account? Like, are there specific guidelines to protect habitats?
Yeah, we work under the Wildlife and Countryside Act, so certain times of the year we can't do hedge pruning, so between October and, from March to say June, July, August time, no pruning goes ahead because of obviously nesting birds, etc. So
Oh no, I was going to say that's good to know, because sometimes residents do send us emails around those times when things are a bit overgrown and they're wondering why, there's no pruning in the area. So it's just good to have that information so that we can communicate that back across to them when they do send such inquiries.
our main contractor is ID Verdi, who do most of the shrub pruning and hedge pruning across the district, and they are contracted to ensure that they finish by March. So then obviously we don't do any disturbance, and their pruning programme starts again in October, so there isn't no overlap there at all, and we are very careful and quite considerate, to be honest with you. The officers within the section are quite aware of those issues.
Then I just had one more question, the last one, I promise. So are there any opportunities for local residents to get involved in these maintenance activities like hedge pruning and landscape clearing? Ish, but and then how can we encourage community participation? Because I feel like if the community is a bit more involved in tidying up and looking after their community, I guess we wouldn't have so much issues like dumping and littering and stuff like that. So are there any?
Yeah, there are quite a few voluntary groups across the district actually. Like there is the Laindon Wombles, I think it's Laindon Wombles, and I know they do quite a lot of work around the Markham Chase area. And those areas, or the whole of the whole of Laindon area, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean the voluntary groups are out there. It's not so much using hedge trimmers and mechanical tools so much, obviously, because there's a health and safety issue with that. But yeah, there's lots of groups that people can join, and obviously help out making the area better.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Councillor McGarren.
Yeah, sorry, just on the pruning issue. Try not to be too overtly political. I rarely am, obviously, as you all know. There was an issue this year with pruning because the previous administration did reduce the amount of prunes. But what we did do was once we could start pruning again, but some of the pride teams were redesignated to carry out pruning in areas where there were particular problems. So we were aware of it, we were addressing it, but unfortunately there is that period where we can't actually do anything about it. And again, maybe communication of that needs to be looked at. We need to be better at explaining to our residents when pruning's happening and when it isn't. But yeah, as has already been said, the ID Verdi contract is quite clear when they're supposed to be doing it. But we do also, certainly this year, we did put more resource into it in certain areas, but we're experiencing problems.
Yeah, just like I say, the removal of the summer prune has caused us massive problems because obviously going from twice a year, we're only doing it once a year. So that has knocked on with the pride teams having to do a lot more pruning than normally the contractor would do, and then what that does, that takes us off the project work and they're in, doing work in estates, etc. So that is a major factor for us, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Councillor McGarry, if it's
And
related
one thing
to
I should mention as well, Councillor Ben Westwick did some great work with the Task and Finish group on grounds maintenance, which has come back to me now. So again, there's work going on to make sure so that we can learn from the mistakes of the past and improve those services. And there's some potentially exciting developments in the pipeline, but I don't want to spoil it by announcing it in an area committee.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what's next with that. Councillor Power.
I think just on Councillor McGovern's point around communication, obviously you showed us that plan throughout the year, and I think obviously us having sight of that and communicating it better to our residents, obviously, so when we are getting these council inquiries, we're able to sort of probably kind of preempt the answer and know where you are and what you're doing, and obviously where your focus is at the time. And I think maybe being quite open about where the pride team's focus is per estate or per area, regularly sort of using our social media channels and our communication channels, I think will really help the residents to realise that you do exist and you're out there. I think obviously if they're making complaints and complaining, they don't see you, so obviously knowing where you are and what you're doing. So I think there's something we can definitely look at with communications a bit more and being a bit more open and transparent about what you're doing and where you are and what your main focus is. So I know you might not always know the whole year ahead, but when you know your next steps, obviously maybe sharing that with us as councillors as well, so we can be open and transparent with obviously with the inquiries that come in for us.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, there are some changes coming, and there will be a designated officer next year for your area that you'll be able to contact, and we'll be able to inform you a lot more.
Fantastic. Do you have any other comments on this item? No. Just a quick one from me, just to say sort of well done, really. It's fantastic that we've got the pride teams working in the local areas. I certainly notice when you've been somewhere in my ward, Lee Chapel North, and I'm sure the residents do as well. But yeah, the work that you do is some of the cases that some of the most common cases that councillors get are the things that you guys sort out. So it's really important that you keep up the good work. But no, if nobody else has got any comments, we'll close it there. Thank you all so much for coming this evening. And I haven't got the date of the next meeting, but there'll certainly be one around soon. Thank you very much.